DK, first and foremost, today is a big day for everybody, the Clemente Day of Service, everything that's happening and has happened this morning. So just being someone who knows the significance behind Roberto Clemente and what he did, I mean, what does this whole day represent for you?
Man, what a legacy that to be able to leave, you know, for humanity, for Pittsburghers, for, you know, it's so cool for the players, staff, the whole organization, the involvement of going out into the community to multiple different locations to honor Roberto and give back to the community. Just really feel blessed to be a part of it.
What does it say about a guy like Paul Skeens that he's this year's nominee, and how deserving is he of that?
Oh, so deserving. I mean, the stuff that he does that not everybody even knows. He doesn't even talk about a lot of the things that he does and the way that he gives back, you know, to multiple things in the community here in Pittsburgh, but also, you know, veterans and different things that are near and dear to his heart. And he's always looking to give back to other people.
What does it mean to have the young guys experience something like that today, just to get to wear the number 21 on their backs when they step on the field?
Yeah, really cool. I'm talking about a legacy of a guy that meant so much to the city of Pittsburgh, to the game of baseball. You know, for me, the ties to the family and my father-in-law helping Roberto load the plane, you know, just really near and dear to our family, and you know, just really cool to be a part of his legacy and him leaving that behind for the community of Pittsburgh and be able to give back like that.
What do you remember of, were you ever told like a good first-hand story about him? Like when you're talking about just the family ties?
Oh man, my father-in-law would talk about him all the time, and in those, he would just, what we know, I didn't get to know him, I'm sure there are others even in the room that maybe did, but like just the man he was and what he meant to Puerto Rico, to Pittsburgh, to the game of baseball. And anytime Tom would talk about it, didn't matter what story he was telling, that is what came through.
Can you walk me through some of kind of the conversations, the mindset, the logistics of how you have gone through watching, or not watching, but maneuvering the pitchers, the innings, whether it's Ashcraft or Burrows, whether it's Skeens, it's been almost like a rolling code that you guys have kind of deployed here. One, how difficult has that been? Two, can you give us some insight as to how you've done it successfully?
A lot of conversations, and certainly not just from me. You know, Ben, myself, Oscar, Jeremy Bleich, being involved in those conversations and really trying to figure out what is best for each individual pitcher and how we're going to try to get them to the end of the season and pitching all the way through the end of September, and then communicating with the players as effectively as we can to make sure that they're prepared to know what their next outing is going to look like, what their days are going to look like, even in between outings, to make sure that they're ready to roll. You know, and really it would not go on without the mindset that the players have had, the pitchers have had, in terms of understanding and accepting and being ready whenever their number is called to go out there and do what they do, and they've all been tremendous in adjusting and adapting through it.
Is it ideal, or would you rather have it be, for lack of a better term, more normal? And by doing it this way now, do you set yourself up in 26 for it to be a bit more normal?
Well, I think normal in a sense of there's only going to be 5 spots. So as we start to build it out, we've got more than 5 starters, especially when you're looking at guys like Jerry Jones coming back off of injury, Oviedo came back off of an injury. So how do we start to map this out in a way that you know, somebody might end up in the bullpen? How do we, you know, decipher that? And right now it's been ideal to try to limit innings and keep guys still pitching. How that shakes out as we go into next year, you know, hopefully everybody's healthy, everybody's firing on all cylinders, doing what they can do, and we've got some decisions to make on how we map that out, because these guys are big league pitchers. I think they've shown that. They've shown the ability to do really well, and their stuff is really good. So they're valuable parts of the team, and how do we maneuver all that around? It's a good thing to have a lot of young arms.
Can you keep everybody happy long term? Is that, for lack of a better term, sustainable? Or is it just a culture of meritocracy, right? Hey, this is where we're at. It's a numbers game. You know, you kind of fit in where you fit in.
Yeah, culture. I think it does go to that, but ultimately, and this is how I am, we want to win, and getting those guys on board to winning baseball, and then being a part of that, and how do we mesh it all together to win baseball games as Pirates?
What are you looking forward to in a guy like Braxton today, who's admitted his last time out, who's really struggling to leverage counts and just get to be the pitcher that he knows he can be?
Yeah, struggling and against the Orioles, and the one against the Dodgers was 3 innings and 70-some pitches. How he got out of that second inning against the Dodgers was phenomenal and fascinating. Like, to get bases loaded, nobody out, and to be able to get out of that against the Los Angeles Dodgers really won the game for us, because he didn't have his best stuff. Even against the Orioles, he went 3 innings, went out for his 4th up, didn't have, maybe his best stuff, but he's given us a chance to win in those times he's taken them out.
What does it say about a young guy and his self-awareness, though, that he knows he called those outings, specifically the one against the Orioles, uncharacteristic, and he knows that there's more he can offer? The
expectations, and I think that goes to the mindset too. The expectations that they have for themselves are so high, and they know that they're good too. And that's the struggle. Bubba going out against the Dodgers and then having a tough outing against the Brewers, 2 really, really good teams, expects himself to be good, continues to work through it, and then goes out and has an unbelievable outing against the Nationals. Like, the expectation that they have for themselves is so high, and in between outings they work like that. They continue to work to get better. Ashcraft is the same way. He knows that he's good, and also understands that not every outing is going to be 100% perfect. He might not feel, every pitch is working, command might not be working, but he's a learner, and he's always trying to get better.
I noticed Jack was in the clubhouse. Is there a roster move coming?
Yeah, so Jack is back off the IL, and we optioned G1 Bates back to Indianapolis.
Donnie, what did you make last night of Justin Lawrence, just first time out after a very lengthy rehabilitation?
Yeah, I thought he threw the ball well in a tie game on the road, and I thought he threw the ball really well. It seemed to be coming out of his hand really well, and really cool having assists coming from one slot, and then Lawrence coming in on the backside gives us a really different look from a guy that has a lot of experience.
And just what can a guy in those circumstances get out of these last couple weeks here? Just whatever capacity you guys determine to use him out of the bullpen, just being gone so long and now having a little clip here at the end of the year, just what can Justin Lawrence still contribute and still get out of this?
Yeah, a lot. To be able to he pitched really well at the beginning, gave up a run in his first outing and then had a really good month. Unfortunately got hurt. Has had success in the big leagues with the Rockies, and just looking forward to him being healthy and filling different roles too. That was more of a higher leverage spot. We're going to challenge him in those spots too, of games that we're up, and seeing what he can do.
You say you didn't waste any time throwing him in the deep end.
Yeah.
I mean, was that necessary, or is that just circumstance dictated?
Circumstance, and trusted him in that spot, and also, really we played so many tight games on the road. On ramps, sometimes you can't script and make sure that it's a soft landing, so to speak, that easing him back in. But I think it speaks to his experience and what he was able to do on the road in a tie game, that he's been there and in closed games before, that he was able to handle that situation.
Don't we consider, getting back to Dan's question, nobody goes through the season with only 5 starters anymore, and we have injuries or extra rest. How advantageous is it to know that if you end this season with 7, 8, 9 guys you're confident they can start in the game? There's not a question if they can, they can.
Yeah, it's huge, because as you know, like you just said, you need a lot of starting pitchers. Unfortunately, there are injuries and things that you have to deal with, and the more starters that you can have, the better off you are. And how you mesh that all together and continue to put it together. It's nice to have a lot of guys that you trust to take the ball.
Is it good to have competition? I mean, seemingly next spring will be competition for at least a couple spots.
Yeah, I always think competition is good to have.
How important is it to give Jack some runway here over the final 2 weeks, given that he was playing a bit before he got injured?
Yeah, it's very important, and the way that he swung the bat down played 3 games, hit 2 home runs down in Indianapolis, and looking forward to him carrying that over up here. I thought that there were stretch there when he was up before he got hurt, and I think the groin was bothering him for a while that he was trying to play through towards the end before he went on the IL. Just glad to have him back healthy and ready to roll.
Are you at the point where you're trying to convince your general manager to give you Connor Griffin for the final week of the season? I mean, but seriously, I mean, how much do you appreciate the year that he's had?
Oh man, he's had a heck of a year. I mean, to see what he's done, to go through 3 different levels, and I don't know what he ended up 337 something at AA, and for them to go to the playoffs, and for all of the guys there to experience that, and the reports that we've heard back from the staff at all the levels that he was at, just the energy he brings, how he goes about it. You see the talent. There's just the ceiling is so high for a kid like that, and just to be able to go through 3 levels, not yet.
Well, I mean,
But very exciting, and really glad he's a Pirate.
Going back
Would
to
you at least consider lobbying for him? I know like a couple years ago you brought O'Neill up for the last 2 or 3 games of the season. Would you at least?
We're getting way
lobby-
outside my wheelhouse. I think
Okay,
that
all right.
would.
Well, you're allowed to make suggestions.
Yeah, Connor Griffin. I mean, what he's been able to do this year has been phenomenal, and I'm just really glad that the AA team made the playoffs, and they're going to continue to roll and hopefully win the Eastern League.
Going back to Braxton, I mean, this is by far the most he's pitched in a season in his professional career. I mean, how impressive is it to see he's finally gotten to a stage where he can have this much workload and not have to be so worried about the injuries that he's had in the past?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, I think got a lot of numbers. I think he was at 73 innings, was maybe the most that he had thrown before, and now pushing it. Burrows, same type of thing. I mean, Burrows is way up. So they both have done a great job and stayed healthy. I think they've learned a lot about their routines and preparation, and also in their recovery and how to bounce back. And Ash is throwing the ball extremely well.
Do you think Braxton will ever be a 170 innings guy at this level, or do you think it's in his best interest to maybe hover a little lower and be able to bounce between the bullpen and the rotation?
Oh man, really tough question. I mean, honestly, the stuff that he's shown that he's a starting pitcher, and how we're able to utilize that and going forward. He's done great, and I think it's hard to speculate exactly how that everything will shake out next year.
Thanks.